Hello, Madlang people! Today let's talk about something we all know so well, love, and its naughty twin, heartbreak. You know, my heart has been through a lot. It's like a book with many chapters, and some of those chapters are about my exes. Let's count them, shall we? There were 10 of them. Yes, 10. Each one was a different story, a different lesson. My first ex, oh, that was puppy love. We ended because we were just too young and our dreams were going in different directions. The second one? He said he needed to find himself, which really meant he wanted to be single. With the third, it was a classic case of a third party. Someone else was already in the picture, and I was just the guest star who didn't know it. It felt like a teleserie, and I was not the beta. The fourth ex was a whirlwind romance that ended as quickly as it started. He was not ready for a serious commitment, and I was already planning our future in my head. Ayan na naman assuming. The fifth one, this was a tough one. He didn't really love me back. I was the one giving all the love like a one-way street. It felt like I was just a convenience, someone to be with when he was bored. It was a painful realization that you cannot force someone to feel the same way you do. The sixth relationship ended because of distance. Long-distance relationships are hard, you know? The phone calls become shorter, the messages become fewer, and the love just fades away like a weak signal. It was a slow and quiet heartbreak. My seventh ex and I were just too different. We were like oil and water. We argued about everything, from the smallest things to the biggest life decisions. Love wasn't enough to bridge the gap between our personalities. The eighth one, this was a lesson in self-worth. He made me feel like I was not good enough, and I started to believe it. The breakup was my way of choosing myself, of saying, hey, I deserve better than this. It was hard, but it was necessary. I had to learn to love myself first before I could expect anyone else to love me properly. It was a wake-up call that my own happiness should be my priority. The ninth ex was a story of bad timing. We were perfect for each other, but the timing was all wrong. He had his own problems to deal with, and I had my career. We had to let each other go, hoping that someday our paths might cross again. It was a mature breakup, but it still hurt like crazy. And the 10th? That was a simple case of falling out of love. The spark was gone. We became more like friends than lovers, and we both knew it was time to end it. Each breakup was a different kind of pain, a different lesson etched onto my heart. But you know what? Each one also made me stronger and, funnily enough, funnier. After each breakup, it felt like a storm was inside my chest. The heartbreak was real, MGAT. I remember crying for days, not wanting to eat, just locking myself in my room. With my third ex, the one with the third party, the feeling was betrayal. I felt so used and foolish. I kept asking myself, what did I do wrong? Am I not enough? The rumors also started flying around, and it was so hard to face people. It felt like everyone was talking about my pain, my failure. It was a public humiliation on top of a private heartbreak, and I just wanted to disappear from the world and hide under my blankets forever. Then there was the feeling of jealousy. When I saw my exes happy with someone new, oh my gosh, it was like a knife twisting in my heart. I would stalk their social media looking for clues, hurting myself in the process. It was a toxic cycle. I felt this strongly with my fifth ex, the one who never really loved me. Seeing him give someone else the love I had begged for was a special kind of hell. It made me question my own value and wonder if I was ever going to be someone's first choice, someone's true love. It was a lonely and confusing time, filled with so many doubts and insecurities. Trying to move on was a battle every single day. Some days I would feel strong, ready to conquer the world. I would tell myself, I'm over him, I am a strong independent person. I would go out with my friends, laugh my loudest laugh and try to forget. But then, a song would play on the radio, or I'd pass by a restaurant we used to go to, and boom, all the memories would come rushing back. It was like one step forward and two steps back. The sadness would hit me like a wave, and I would be back to square one, crying over a love that was already gone. There was also the feeling of being empty. After a breakup, especially with the long-term ones, you feel like a part of you is missing. Your daily routine changes. The person you used to text every morning is no longer there. The inside jokes, the shared dreams, they all disappear. It's a deafening silence. I felt this with my ninth ex, the right person, wrong time. The breakup left a void that was so hard to fill. It felt like I lost not just a lover, but a best friend. It was a quiet ache that stayed with me for a very long time, a constant reminder of what could have been but never was. Moving on is not a race, it's a journey. And my journey had many detours. I tried everything, you know. First, I tried the rebound method. I thought that if I found someone new right away, I would forget the old one. Wrong. It was so unfair to the new person, and it didn't heal my heart. It was like putting a small bandage on a very deep wound. You're just using another person to avoid your own pain, and in the end, you might end up hurting them too. It only made me feel more confused and guilty, realizing that I was just running away from my feelings instead of facing them head on. Then I tried the keep busy strategy. I poured all my energy into my work. I said yes to every project, every hosting gig, every show. I worked until I was so tired that I would just fall asleep without thinking about anything. It worked for a while. It gave me a distraction. But at the end of the day, when I was alone in my quiet room, the sadness would creep back in. It was a temporary fix, not a permanent solution. I realized that being busy was just another way of running away. You can't outrun your own heart, you know. Sooner or later, you have to stop and face the music. Of course, I leaned on my friends. My friends were my saviors. They were my Showtime family. They would listen to my endless stories, let me cry on their shoulders and make me laugh until my stomach hurt. They would drag me out of the house even when I didn't want to. They reminded me that I was loved and that I was not alone. This was the most effective method. Surrounding yourself with people who genuinely care about you is the best medicine for a broken heart. Their love and support were the light that guided me through the darkest tunnels of my heartbreak. Finally, I tried to focus on myself. I started doing things that made me happy, just for me. I traveled, I tried new hobbies, I rediscovered my passions. This was the turning point. I learned to enjoy my own company. I realized that I didn't need someone else to complete me. I was already whole on my own. It was a slow process of self-love and self-discovery. I started dating myself in a way. I took myself out to nice dinners, bought myself flowers, and celebrated my own successes. It was about rebuilding my relationship with the most important person in my life, me. After 10 heartbreaks and a long, winding road to healing, I learned so many things. The biggest lesson is this: you have to choose yourself, always. Love is beautiful, but it should never come at the cost of your own happiness and self-respect. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to fill your own cup first with self-love, with confidence, with joy. When my 8th ex made me feel small, leaving him was an act of choosing myself. It taught me to set boundaries and to know my worth. You are the main character in your own life story, so don't let anyone treat you like an extra. Another thing I realized is that moving on is not about forgetting. You will never completely forget the people you once loved. They become a part of your story, a part of who you are. Moving on is about accepting what happened, learning from it, and being able to look back without the pain. It's about taking the lessons and letting go of the hurt. Each of my 10 exes taught me something valuable, about what I want in a partner, what I will not tolerate, and most importantly, about myself. The scars are there, but they are reminders of the battles I have won. To everyone out there who is going through a heartbreak, my advice is simple: be kind to yourself. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to cry. Allow yourself to feel the pain, because that is the only way to truly heal. Don't rush the process. There is no timeline for moving on. Take it one day at a time. Surround yourself with your own madlang people, your friends and family who love you unconditionally. Talk about your feelings, let it all out, and remember, this pain is not your final destination. It's just a stopover. The sun will shine again, I promise. And finally, my biggest realization is that true happiness comes from within. A relationship should be a wonderful bonus, a beautiful addition to your already happy life, not the source of it. Learn to be happy on your own. Fall in love with your own life. When you are content and complete by yourself, you attract the right kind of love, a love that adds to your joy, not one that you depend on for it. Be open to new beginnings. My heart has been broken many times, but it is still open, because I know that after all the rain, there is always a beautiful, colorful rainbow. And that, my friends, is a beautiful life. I love you all.